With the types of PWMs here, and we had drawn the waveforms for single pulse modulation, and here we saw that in PWM technique we count the number of pulses per half cycle, where half cycle means 0 to pi radians, or from pi to 2 pi, or 2 pi to 3 pi, so on and so forth. So in PWM technique, basically we count the number of pulses per half cycle. So we will soon see that this number of pulses per half cycle is denoted as small p, and how this small p decides the harmonic content in the output, that will soon come to know. Okay, and we had description here, and then we had told that just like in this waveform we have only one pulse having a duration 2 delta in the interval 0 to pi. So here if we see the load voltage waveform VO, it is having a single pulse in the interval 0 to pi, and it has another single pulse in the duration pi to 2 pi, and having durations 2 delta radians. So this is called as a single pulse width modulation, because in every half cycle I have only one pulse. On the other hand, we are seeing here in this diagram, in this waveform, that in the interval 0 to pi I am having four pulses, pulse number 1 2 3 4. Similarly, in the next half cycle pi to 2 pi, again I am having four pulses, 5 6 7 8. So here uh, somebody may say that in the interval 0 to 2 pi, that is one cycle, I have 8 number of pulses. So can I say that the value of p is 8? No, the value of p is 4, because the p is the number of pulses per half cycle, not full cycle. Okay, so let me write here that I have 4 pulses per half cycle. Okay, similarly I have 4 pulses per half cycle. Okay, yeah. So now we proceed for the topic. Yeah, multiple pulse PWM. So in this particular waveform which I had drawn, the waveform was not very symmetric. So I thought that if we can just take photos from the text, then they are actually drawn more precisely. Fine. So multiple pulse PWM. So if we see here, these two waveforms, so these two waveforms are the waveforms which we had drawn yesterday. But now I want to take the discussion further, that okay, fine. Here we are not just to understand how PWM waveforms look like and what are the different kinds of PWM. Ultimately understand that these discussions are a topic, these discussions are a part of the inverter systems. So we have to find out that if this is a multiple pulse PWM available with me, and if I can vary the width of the pulses simply by changing the level of this reference signal, then my question is that how can this waveform be used to fire the transistor pairs Q1, Q2 and Q3, Q4. So that is what is the discussion today, and I am going to do a multisim simulation to help you understand that how actually the circuits are actually designed in hardware. Yeah, so see here. So by comparing, so let me first write down this thing. So students, we see that the triangular wave is the high frequency signal. So this is called as carrier signal. We know that in the world of modulation, the higher frequency signal is called as carrier, and the lower frequency signal is called as a information signal or baseband signal. But here we do not call the baseband signal as the information signal, we call it as a reference signal. So carrier signal, it is having two attributes, AC and FC. So FC is frequency of carrier, that is triangular wave, and AC is the amplitude. So this is the peak amplitude. So this is like, plus AC, and the minimum value is 0, and this is the reference signal. Okay. So here, this is my reference. This is my reference signal. So this is my reference. Now in our case, our reference is having only one value, AR, and its frequency is 0 because it is 0. Because it is DC. So because the reference signal is DC signal, it is a level. So it is having only an amplitude AR, but it is not having any frequency. So it's very simple. By applying the carrier signal and reference signal to an operational amplifier, I can generate this particular kind of a waveform. So we can just write down here that this particular signal, it can be given to the inverting or non-inverting terminal, and this particular signal can be given to the non-inverting terminal. So I and Ni. And if this particular op-amp is used as a comparator at the output, I will get plus or minus Vsat volts. And then using a suitable clipper like a diode, I can remove all the negative portions, right? So the output of an op-amp which is used in open loop mode as a comparator will give me output as plus Vsat or minus Vsat. But if we see here, the multiple pulses which are generated, they are only above x-axis having only positive value. So the negative Vsat portions can be removed using a high frequency diode. Okay. Now students, assume that we are already having this signal with us. Now I have to convert this signal into two signals. Why? One signal is going to fire the transistor pair Q1, Q2 in the duration 0 to pi, and another signal is going to fire the transistor pair Q3, Q4 from pi to 2 pi. So basically I have to split this signal into two parts, that this signal should get converted into one signal which exists only from 0 to pi and does not exist from pi to 2 pi. Similarly, this has to be converted into another signal which does not exist from 0 to pi but exists from pi to 2 pi. So how is this done? This is done using logic gates. So it's very simple, students. I will first draw it here, then I will show you the multisim simulation for that. It is very interesting. So students, this is my signal. So see, this is called as masking signal. You see here, masking signal 1 and masking signal 2. So this masking signal basically is a digital signal which goes from 0 to 1. So students, from 0 to pi. So first masking signal is equal to logic 1 from 0 to pi radians, and it is logic 0 from pi to 2 pi radians. Similarly, the second masking signal here, it is equal to 0 from 0 to pi, and it is equal to 1 from pi to 2 pi. So what I do, students, is that I give this signal and first masking signal as an input to a AND gate. Similarly, I give this signal and second masking signal as an input to the second AND gate. So this is how it is. Okay, see how I'm doing this. So here is my first AND gate. So this signal, it goes as an input here, and this signal goes as an input here. Similarly, I have another AND gate wherein I give the same signal as the first input of second AND gate, but I give this signal as an input here. Okay, it's very simple that if this signal is X, then you have X here, you have X here, and you have masking signal. This is the first masking signal, say M1, and this is second masking signal called as M2. So now I am having a logical ANDing between X and M1 and logical ANDing between X and M2. So it's very simple that because M1 exists only from 0 to pi. So what I will get? I will get the signal X from 0 to pi, and the output will be 0 from pi to 2 pi. Similarly, what is the output of the second AND gate? The second AND gate will give X from pi to 2 pi, and it will give an output 0 from 0 to pi. Why? Because the second masking signal is 0 from 0 to pi, and the first masking signal is 0 from pi to 2 pi. Very simple. So the output of the first AND gate will become the firing signal for Q1, Q2, and the output of the second AND gate will become the firing signal for Q3, Q4. Students, this is exactly what we are getting here. You see here the base drive for T1 and T2, that is Q1 and Q2, we can see here that a logical ANDing between this signal, now logical ANDing between this signal and this signal gives me a signal which exists only from 0 to pi. You see here, so that this, so basically this signal is nothing but it is the output of the first AND gate. So you see here, the output of first AND gate exists from 0 to pi, but it doesn't exist from pi to 2 pi. We see here the drive of T3 and T4 fine. So this particular signal here, it is output of the second AND gate. So we see here again that the second signal, it is not existing from 0 to pi, but it is existing from pi to 2 pi. Okay, and that is why when Q1 and Q2 are fired as per this waveform and Q3, Q4 are fired like this, what we get, that output is this. Please understand one thing, that the beauty of converting one inverter waveform into another inverter's waveform, the simplicity of converting a square wave inverter into a Cauchy square wave inverter, converting a Cauchy square wave inverter into a single pulse PWM inverter, and converting a single pulse PWM inverter into a multiple pulse inverter is so simple, is that you simply change the way Q1, Q2 and Q3, Q4 are switched on and off, and the load voltage waveform will change. It's very simple, students. If I give the base drive to Q1 and Q2 as like this, and then 0. Similarly, if I give the firing pulse to Q3 and Q4 as like this, that means this same output will become now like this and like this. So it will become a square wave. So you simply change the way Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 are switched, and a load voltage waveform will change. Okay. Now whatever I've written here, I am now going to show it after I explain to you the sinusoidal PWM. Okay. So now see here, students, the first explanation was for multiple pulse PWM, wherein we discussed how by comparing a high frequency triangular wave, that is a carrier signal, with a DC level called as reference signal, and if we give the high frequency carrier triangular wave and the reference signal to an op-amp connected as a comparator, we will get at the output plus Vsat and minus Vsat. The minus Vsat levels below x-axis can be removed using a diode. Now, after I convert the comparison between the triangular wave and the reference signal into this multiple pulses, what I do is that I actually generate the firing waveforms for Q1, Q2 and Q3, Q4. How do I do that? I take two masking signals M1 and M2. Now the first masking signal, it is equal to logic 1 from 0 to pi and logic 0 from pi to 2 pi. Similarly, second masking signal M2 is 0 from 0 to pi and it is equal to 1 from pi to 2 pi. Now what I do is that I do a logical ANDing between the output of comparator and first masking signal. So I get a signal which is equal to the multiple pulse signal from 0 to pi, doesn't exist from pi to 2 pi. When I do a logical ANDing between the multiple pulse PWM and another masking signal, I get a signal which is equal to multiple pulse signal but from pi to 2 pi. So basically, I am converting the output of comparator into two signals which are mutually complements of each other in the time domain. And when I give these kind of firing pulses to Q1, Q2 and Q3, Q4, then I get a signal which is shown here. Okay, so I'll remove the sections here. Yeah. Okay, so now these particular waveforms are called as sinusoidal PWM because, students, the reference signal is a sine wave. Okay, So here if we see the reference signal shown in green is a DC level or a constant voltage, and the carrier signal is the triangular wave. When I compare a sinusoidal signal with a triangular wave, it is called a sinusoidal PWM. So similarly, I will again write the attributes of the high frequency signal here. So let us denote it like this. So the red colored signal, which is my high frequency signal, is called as carrier. Okay, so let me write it as carrier signal. Okay, so this is my carrier signal having attributes amplitude of carrier and frequency of carrier. Similarly, we will denote the reference signal in green color. So students, this is my reference signal. Okay, so reference signal is having attributes AR and FR. So AR stands for amplitude of reference, FR stands for frequency of reference, FC is frequency of carrier, and AC is the amplitude of carrier, right? So the relativity between AC and AR will decide the modulation index, that is amplitude modulation index, and the relativity between FC and FR will decide the frequency modulation index. Okay, that will come in the subsequent this thing. Okay, so we have two relativities here. Yeah. So now students, please see that when the reference signal completes one cycle, also note that this is 0, this is pi, this is 2 pi. So now my one complete cycle is 0 to 2 pi, and my one half cycle is either 0 to pi or pi to 2 pi. Now students, you compare the relative frequencies of carrier signal and the reference signal. So see students, now the reference signal, it completes one cycle from 0 to 2 pi, right? So this is one cycle T of the reference. Now see students, please note how many cycles of carrier are completed within this time duration, right? So in the time interval 0 to 2 pi, my reference signal is completing one cycle. Again, in the duration 0 to 2 pi, my reference signal is completing one cycle. How many cycles is the carrier signal completing? Students, see, this is the first cycle. So first cycle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So students, when the reference signal is completing one cycle, the carrier is completing 6 cycles. So I can say that the relative frequency between carrier and the reference is 6. Or we can say that the carrier signal is having 3 times the frequency of half of the reference signal. Okay, so students, please note here. What do we note? How many pulses we are getting? So now assume the same thing, that I am giving this triangular wave as an input to another op-amp comparator. Please note this. After this explanation, I am going to directly make this system in multisim. Okay, so now please note this. So we will use the same colors here. So the reference signal is in red color, and the carrier signal is in red color, and the reference signal is in green color. So draw an op-amp here. Okay, I will give this to non-inverting and this to inverting. Okay, here, and this is my output. The output of comparator is this. Okay, students, please note how many pulses am I getting per half cycle. So the half cycle goes from 0 to pi, or it goes from pi to 2 pi. So see students, in the duration 0 to pi, pulse number 1, pulse number 2, pulse number 3. So in the duration from 0 to pi, I'm getting 3 pulses. Similarly, from pi to 2 pi. So this is my pi and this is my 2 pi. So in the next half cycle, pulse number 1, pulse number 2, pulse number 3. So students, what do we see? That if there are 3 cycles of carrier signal in one half cycle of the reference, I get 3 pulses. Let me note this down. Okay, so mathematics. So what do we conclude from the waveforms? We conclude this thing. By observing and comparing the carrier and reference signal, what do we observe? That there are 3 cycles of carrier signal per half cycle of reference signal. Okay, so there are 3 cycles of carrier signal per half cycle of reference signal, right? So there are 3 cycles of carrier signal per half cycle of reference signal. So what is the output? The output is that I get 3 pulses per half cycle. So the result is we get 3 pulses per half cycle after comparison. Okay, so students, please understand one thing, that P is equal to the number of pulses per half cycle. So half cycle means 0 to pi or pi to 2 pi. Okay, students. Now, students, if I increase the number of cycles of the carrier from 3 to 4 per half cycle, I should get 4 pulses here. If I have 6 cycles of carrier signal per half cycle 0 to 2 pi, 0 to pi, I will get 6 pulses. Now we are going to show everything in simulation. So now, students, what about the harmonic content in the output of sinusoidal PWM? This is what the mathematics goes like. So understand, students, that for the above P number of pulses in the output, now this is a very important sentence, all harmonics, this is very important, this is a Viva question, that can you comment on the harmonic content of sinusoidal PWM? Or if a question is asked that how can you eliminate harmonics selectively in sinusoidal PWM, the answer lies here. So all harmonics below 2p minus 1 are eliminated. Okay, so all harmonics below 2p minus 1 are eliminated. So what does it mean? It means this. So for example, if p equal to 3, then 2p minus 1 is equal to 2 into 3 minus 1 equal to 5. So all harmonics below fifth harmonic are eliminated. Thus, all harmonics below the fifth harmonic are absent. Okay, that means what? It means second, third, and fourth harmonic are absent in the above waveform. Are absent. Okay, very simple. That means what? If we have more number of pulses per half cycle, say 4, 5, 6, then what will happen is if we are having number of pulses as 4, then 2p minus 1 is 7. So all harmonics below the 7th harmonic are eliminated. So means what? In this particular system where p equal to 3, all harmonics from 5 are present. So 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So the first 6 harmonics will be absent from the output. This is called as selective harmonic elimination in sinusoidal PWM. So let me tell this like this. The above analysis is called as selective harmonic elimination. Selective harmonic elimination in sinusoidal PWM. Okay, and the same technique is used, students, here. As I told you, this particular waveform is given to a masking signal M1, which exists from 0 to pi as logic 1, and it exists as 0 from pi to 2 pi. Okay, similarly, we have another masking signal which is equal to logic 0 from 0 to pi, but is equal to 1 from pi to 2 pi. So this signal and the first masking signal are logically ANDed to generate this signal, that is the drive for MOSFETs T1 and T2 or the BJTs Q1 and Q2. Similarly, this signal is logically ANDed with the second masking signal to generate this waveform, that is the drive for MOSFETs T3, T4 or the power BJTs Q3 and Q4. And what we get at the output is this. And in this output, we see here that this particular output is having 1, 2, and 3 pulses per half cycle, that is from 0 to pi. So this particular waveform will not have second, third, and fourth harmonics in the output. So this is good. Okay. Now our explanation for single pulse PWM, multiple pulse PWM, and for sinusoidal PWM is over. And we have also learned how we can have selective harmonic elimination in sinusoidal PWM. Now we will go to multisim and we will actually generate the system. So students, first let me draw the system here so that it is easy for you to relate what I have drawn here and what we are going to do in multisim. Okay, so yes, so I will write it as we can say, I can say not hardware, I can say control circuit. Okay, so I can say control circuit for firing the transistors of single phase full bridge inverter using sinusoidal PWM technique. Okay, so control circuit for firing transistors of single phase full bridge inverter using sinusoidal PWM technique. Okay, so rough hardware is something like this. So we have our op-amp. So non-inverting terminal, inverting terminal. So here I am going to give a triangular wave. having some amplitude AC equal to some frequency FC equal to. Similarly here, students, I will not give a pulsating DC. I will give an AC, which is a reference signal, and it will have AR equal to something, and it will have FR equal to something. Now we will write what is this something here. Now the output of this will be a waveform which will be PWM, something like this, increasing, decreasing, okay, something like this, okay, PWM signal. Now this signal will now be given to an AND gate. Got the point? This is the first AND gate. This is the second AND gate. Okay. Now this signal will be given to the first AND gate also and second AND gate also. Now what about masking signals? Now see here students, the masking signal, if you see carefully here, this masking signal, it is basically a square wave. Okay. So student, this masking signals are actually square waves. I just erase everything. It is a square wave. It's a square wave. It is having 50% duty cycle. Okay. Now see here. So I will use a square wave generator here. I will use a square wave generator. Okay. I will give this here. And students, the masking signal M1 and M2 cannot be coexisting at the same time. So what I do is, students, is that I will connect the output of this to a NOT gate, and I will give it here. Okay, so I will give it here. That means what? The time duration for which M1 exists, for that time duration M2 will not exist. Okay, so now at the output, what I should get is this, that is 0, pi and 2 pi. So now this signal, it exists from 0 to pi. This signal exists from pi to 2 pi. So here we have nothing. We have nothing from pi to 2 pi, and we have everything from 0 to pi. Okay, and here at the output, I have exact opposite, 0, pi and 2 pi. So here I will not have anything, 0 to pi, and here I have the same kind, a different time interval. Okay, this is what is expected. Now students, we have to design the frequencies and amplitudes, right? So now we see here we can see that this is the peak of the carrier and this is the peak of the reference. So there is a difference. So what is the difference? Is that the peak of the reference signal is little below the peak of carrier. So if I make this particular level here, then it will have modulation index equal to 1. So now modulation index can be equal to 80%, right? So students, what we will do in the triangular generator, we will keep the amplitude equal to 10 volts peak. And here the reference, I will keep it as 8 volts peak, that is 80% modulation index. Now students, if I want to get 3 pulses here, if I want to get 3 pulses in sinusoidal PWM, what is the case? The case is that the frequency of the carrier should be 3 times the frequency of the reference. So now first let me set the reference frequency as 50 Hertz. Okay, students, it is an inverter, so its fundamental frequency should be 50 Hertz and the frequency of carrier should be 3 times the reference, that is 150 Hertz. Okay, now the another critical thing comes here. What should be the frequency of the masking signal, right? The masking signals, they have to be TTL. So understand students, this is a TTL components. This is a TTL gate. So it can understand only 0 and 5 volts. So whenever I use this square wave generator, students, the amplitude, the amplitude AM, that is amplitude of masking signal, should be equal to 5. Okay. So because the output of this square wave generator is going to a TTL AND gate, so my amplitude should be 5 volts. Now the critical question comes, the frequency of masking signal. So understand, students, that we have to mask this signal after every half cycle, that is after every 10 milliseconds. So if the frequency of this is, so this the frequency is 50 hertz here. Okay. So students, the frequency of this is 50 hertz. So what should be the frequency of masking signal? It should be half of that, that is 25 hertz. Okay, I will write it here. It's easier to appreciate it from here. Okay, let me just delete everything from here. Yeah. So this is 0 to pi. That means this, and zero pi 2 pi. Okay. So 0 to 2 pi, it corresponds to 50 hertz. So these masking signals should have frequency equal to 25 hertz. Okay. So let us just highlight the important relative parameters. So 10 volts peak, 8 volts peak, 150 hertz, 50 hertz, and 25 hertz. Okay. So the parameters highlighted in the same color, they are having a relativity. What is the relativity? The masking signal should have half the frequency of reference signal. So a reference signal is at 50 hertz. So masking signal should be at 25 hertz. Similarly, because we want to have 3 pulses per half cycle at the output after comparison, that means the frequency of the carrier should be 3 times the frequency of reference. So 50 hertz, if we take 3 times, should be the carrier frequency, and half of that should be the masking frequency. Now, having said all of this, we will shuffle between Multisim's user interface and our notes here. Okay. There's our workspace, and we will first save this, save as, say on the desktop as a sine underscore PWM. Okay. Now, I think so we'll take less than 5 minutes to make the entire circuit. So we'll go to op-amps, and we will just go and select 741 IC. 741 is here. Okay. Now we will select a function generator from here. Okay. Bring it here. Control C, Control V. The first function generator will generate triangular wave. The second will generate a sine wave, and a third will generate a square wave. Okay. So Control C, Control V. Okay. Let us bring it here. Now we also need 2 AND gates. So go to TTL and select 7408. That's an AND gate here. So the first AND gate, the second AND gate, cancel. Okay. Yeah. So everything is here. Everything is here. Fine. So now bring it here. Bring it here. Here. And we need one NOT gate also. So getting a NOT gate, IC 7404 here. Here. Cancel. Yeah. So bring the square wave generator here. Take op-amp here a little bit. Take it here. Take it here. Okay, so the output of comparator, it forms the first input of AND gate, and the masking signal forms the input, right? Now, if we see carefully, the operation of this is that this plus indicates the positive signal, the minus indicates a negative of that. Okay, so if you want to have inverted signals, you will use. So if you want a negative triangular wave, you will connect minus and com. If you want positive, then you will connect plus and com. So basically, we need only two terminals, that is plus and com, plus and com, plus and com here. Okay, so here we are going to configure this as a masking signal here. Now I will connect this masking signal to the input of the inverter. Inverter's output goes to the second input of the gate. And students, understand one thing, that I am supposed to give the same PWM here. Okay, so this is how it is. So let us see now, have we connected it properly? See here. So the first AND gate gets two signals, the output of comparator and the output of masking signal, and the second AND gate receives the output of comparator and the complement of the masking signal. So yes, we have done that here. Yeah, okay. Now let us connect the output of triangular. So here, here, and okay, and we need grounds now, not digital ground, we need a normal ground. Not here. Okay, things are done. We need to give VCC and ground to the op-amp. So going to sources, VCC, pin number 7, and we have VEE. It's here, and just say right click, flip vertical, and we have it here connected. 1 and 5 are like offset null frequency compensation. We can just neglect it as of now. Okay, now let us set all the frequencies. So first we will set the reference signal, that is a sine wave with 8 volts peak and 50 hertz frequency. Double click it. After double clicking SXFG2, this is sine, triangular, square. So we need a sine wave. Let the frequency be equal to 50 hertz, and let the amplitude be 8 volts peak. Okay, 8 volts peak. Everything else remains same. So the reference signal has been set at 50 hertz frequency and 8 volts peak. Now let us set the carrier. Carrier is 150 hertz frequency and 10 volts peak. So double click, double clicking, select triangular function. Let the frequency be 150 hertz 3 times, and let the amplitude be 10 volts. Yes, okay. Now go to masking signal. Masking signal is having amplitude of 5 volts because it is going to act as the input to the TTL AND gate, and the frequency is 25 hertz. Double click this, select the square wave, let the frequency be 25 here, and let the amplitude be 5 volts. It's digital. Okay, duty cycle is 50%, right? Okay, I think so we are done. Now we need an oscilloscope. Now we are going to use a 4-channel oscilloscope. So where is the 4-channel oscilloscope? It is here. 4-channel oscilloscope has come here. Very good, no problem. So how do we connect it? Yeah. So I will give channel A to the reference. Sine wave. Okay. Now okay, okay, just a minute. Yeah. So the second channel has to be connected to output of comparator. The third channel will be connected to the output of first AND gate. The fourth output is connected to the second AND gate. Now let us give different colors. Okay. So let the sign have a color white. So segment color is white. Okay. Let us see pure white. Okay. Let the output of comparator have the yellow color. So pure yellow. Let the first drives have the color, say, fluorescent green, and the fourth should have the color aqua blue. Okay, do we have aqua blue? You have aqua blue. Very good. So we have 4-channel oscilloscope here. Let us now simulate. Okay. Okay. So we have to do some alignment here. So how do alignment? Channel 1. Select channel 1, channel 2, channel 3, channel 4. Let us select the first channel and let us increase the time per division and take it above. Okay. So I will take it above like this. Okay. Little below. Select channel 2, that is output. So okay. So let us take it above channel 3. Okay. Channel 4. Beautiful signals. Okay. So we are there. Now let us do auto. Let us do single. Okay. See, you see here, the first channel is my reference signal, that is sine wave with 50 hertz frequency and peak amplitude as 8 volts. The second signal in yellow, it is the output of the comparator after comparison between triangular wave at 150 hertz and the reference signal at 50 hertz. We can see here PWM is generated. Now see students here, the third signal is nothing but the gate drives for MOSFETs or base drives for the power BJTs. We can see here that it is a masking. Okay. So when the third waveform exists, the fourth doesn't. When fourth exists, third doesn't. We see here the fluorescent green signal and the fluorescent blue signal, they do not exist simultaneously. That means what? They can perfectly fire the diagonally opposite transistors and there is no question of any guard band. So cross conduction is not a problem. It is cross conduction is totally absent in PWM systems. So in both quasi square wave as well as PWM inverters, we can very consciously avoid cross conduction with intelligent design. Now student, the question comes that are we getting 3 pulses per half cycle? Okay, let us see here now. Okay, so what I will do is that I will close this. I will open the grapher. This is the grapher and we can see here. I can start this. Yeah, grapher is done here. Maximize the grapher. What we will do, we want to see that per half cycle of the sine wave how many pulses we are getting. Okay, so we want to verify this. What we have to verify? We want to verify that if carrier signal is having frequency 3 times the reference signal, do I get 3 pulses? Do I get 3 pulses in the output? This is what we have to verify in the simulation. Okay, so I will zoom. How to zoom? So I will take 1 half cycle. So 1 half cycle starts here. So this is 1 cycle. Okay. Yeah. Then zoom it. Okay. So from this point to this point is a half cycle. So let me zoom it further. See students carefully. So from this point to this point, we can see there are three pulses. Pulse number 1, 2, and 3. You see here. So if you consider the negative half cycle, so you can say this is 0, this is pi, and this is 2 pi. You see from pi to 2 pi, pulse number 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. You see here, you can see that we are getting 3 pulses per half cycle. Let us modify it again. So what if I keep this as 300? Okay, if I keep 300 hertz as the carrier, see what will I get? So double click this and make it 300, that is 6 times. Resimulate it, save, simulate. Okay, this is perfect. So now I close this and we will open the grapher. Yeah. Yeah, this is better now. See, now you can appreciate there are 3 pulses. Should be 3 pulses now. Let us zoom only a half cycle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 pulses are coming. So 6. So what we will do, we will just keep it as 1 hertz. Okay, keep this as 3 hertz. So we will see whether we are getting 3 pulses for 3:1 ratio or 6:1 ratio. Okay, so when I keep this reference signal as 1 hertz, I have to keep the masking signal as 0.5 hertz. More better rendition is that if we give the modulation index as 50%. So now we are keeping the reference signal as 5 volts, carrier signal as 10 volts, so 50%, and this is at 5 volts, right? Now I should get it. Yeah, now we are getting perfect 3. Yes. So during negative half cycle, we are getting 3 pulses. Let me see if I get 4 pulses. If I make the frequency modulation ratio as 4, close this, 1 hertz, 4 hertz I will keep. Do I get 4 pulses? Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4. See student, you see during the negative half cycle from pi to 2 pi, I'm getting 4 pulses. Pulse number 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let me keep it as 3. I should get 3 pulses. 3 pulses. Let me make it 5. Relative frequency is 5. I should get 5 pulses. 5 hertz. Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See, pulse number 1. This is pi, this is 2 pi. So pulse number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, we're getting it. Let us make it as 6. I should get 6 pulses now per half cycle. Yeah, pi to 2 pi. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, let us keep it as 10. Yeah, you see here, simply I'm changing the frequency modulation ratio and I'm getting it. Okay, so we can put the formula like this. We can put the formula that number of pulses P is equal to Fc is equal to Fc upon 2Fr. Why it's not coming properly? Fc upon 2Fr is equal to 1 upon 2 into Fc upon Fr is equal to Mf upon 2, where Mf is called as the frequency modulation index, equal to Fc upon Fr. Okay, so for P equal to 3, we get Mf upon 2 equal to 3, that is Mf equal to 6. Therefore, Mf, which is equal to Fc upon Fr equal to 6. So we can say the carrier frequency should be 6 times the okay. Therefore, if reference equal to 50 Hertz, then carrier should be 6 times Fr equal to 6 into 50 equal to 300 Hertz. That means here, students, let us change everything. Let this be 50. This has to be 6 times 300, and this has to be half of that, so 25. And if we just resimulate, we'll get 3 pulses. Okay, that's it.